Hi everybody. Following a flash ballon where Pogacar made the other riders look like amateurs, this Sunday, April the 27th, brings us the fourth monument of the season, Liège Bastogne Liège. 252k with well over 4,000 meters of elevation gain and comprising amongst others La Redoute and La Roche-au-Faucon as defining climbs. The weather on Sunday will be dry and sunny with a perfect temperature, so cold weather resistance will not be a factor here. La Redoute sits roughly 35k out of the finish and climbs over the first 1.6k at 9.4% average to then flatten out into more lenient gradients. And with roughly 15k to go, La Roche-au-Faucon climbs over 1.3k at 11% average. Perfect Pogacar terrain. Here's an overview of the winners of the final 10 editions, with Pogacar, Evenepoel and Valverde managing to win the race twice in this time frame, and Jungels, Vogelsang, Evenepoel and Pogacar having won the race solo. The four other editions were won in a sprint of a few riders. From this list, it may be clear we're looking for a climber here. Here's the betting odds at the time of recording, with Pogacar once more the outright favourite and Evenepoel in second. We have four former winners lining up: Pogacar, Evenepoel, Vogelsang and Bob Jungels. And besides these former winners, there's some other riders with an above average number of top 10 finishes compared to their starts taken. Drawing my particular attention are Bardet, Alaphilippe, Hirschi, Benoot, Pidcock and Schachmann. And then here's the riders to watch in my book. All in all, I'm expecting quite a lot of teams not to make the overall cut here. Evenepoel is obviously the man to watch for Soudal Quickstep. There is no doubt he came back very strongly from his pre-season training crash, and in my book he's not without chances if the team is willing to gamble, by making the race hard and by Remco having the guts to go from far out, allowing him to isolate Pogacar and piling up fatigue by riding hard on the flats. Liège is a long race, and we've seen Mathieu van der Poel break Pogacar in Roubaix, and also in the Amstel Gold Race, Evenepoel managed to reel him back in. Also, Schachmann is the rider to watch here, third in 2019 and ninth in 2021, as is Van Zevenand, sixth here on last year's edition. At UAE, it's all eyes on the main favourite for the race, Pogacar, who has started here on 5 occasions, 18th in 2019, not finishing in 2023, third in 2020 and the winner in 2021 and 2024. Then, we obviously can't go around the little Trek trio, Ciccone, Nys and Scelmoza. Scelmoza, who beat Pogacar and Evenepoel to the line in the Amstel Gold Race, and Ciccone, who's fresh off a P4 in the Tour of the Alps and 13th in Liège back in 23. At Visma Lease Bike, Benoot is in good shape and he has done well here in the past, 23rd, 8th, twice 7th and 12th on last year's edition, so certainly a top 10 candidate here. Bahrain Victorious has two riders to play with, Buitrago, 3rd here in 23 and Bilbao, who rode into P9 on last year's edition. Healy at the F, 4th here in 23 and Paulus 8th here in 22. Both are in form and both can do well here. At Red Bull, Van Gils has been disappointing so far this season, yet I keep on liking Dani Martinez for this race, 4th here in 22, his wonder year. And obviously, Pidcock is the rider to watch at Q36.5, 2nd here in 23 and 10th in last year's edition. Madouas, 5th here on last year's edition, yet not really in good form so far this year around, so Gregoire is a safer bet at the Groupama in my book, 7th in both the Amstel and the Flesh. Scaroni at Astana, even though he's never done well here, and at Jaiko, I'm considering Schmidt as an outsider for the top 10. And it will be interesting to see how Magnus Kort will fare here in the vintage 711 kit instead of the regular Uno X1. Bardet at Picnic Postenel, 5 times in the top 10 here out of 10 race starts, 3rd in 2018 and 2nd to Pogacar on last year's edition. Also keep an eye on Vauquelin at Arkea, who is in amazing shape, Van Eetveld at Lotto and Quinten Hermans at Alpecin, who was 2nd here in 22, yet there's no indication he'll be repeating that this year around. Pogacar is my only 4-star favourite for the race. Evenepoel gets 3 stars. Healy, Pidcock, Scelmoza and Bardet each get 2 stars. And Ciccone, Benoot, Gregoire and Vauquelin each get 1 star. As for the podium, I'm frankly not excluding an Evenepoel win, yet I'm going to go with Pogacar ahead of Evenepoel and Bardet. Pogacar can just sit tight and go bonkers on the Roche-au-Faucon. Enjoy the race and keep an eye out for my Giro d'Italia preview. The Grand Tour season is starting and I hope you'll join along. And should you want to spice up your own Grand Tour season, don't hesitate joining the cycling guy Zwieler Sub League for the Giro.